I'm not your Mary.
So you are Maria.
I am. Do you want me to be?
How's everyone doing? Konami has just released another Silent Hill 2 story trailer with some interesting details, including some more gameplay, and overall changes within the combat system and item gathering, and maybe some disappointing news to the old school fans given on some of the reports gaming journalists who got to play Silent Hill for 3 hours. But before we get there, let's give the story a little study to see if everything matches up with what we remember from arguably the best psychological horror we've ever witnessed.
See? I'm real.
Okay, so the trailer itself is based on the 2001 E3 trailer, so the idea is that we play part of the old one to compare the two.
James? Honey? Did something happen to you? After we got separated in that long hallway? Are you confusing me with someone else? You were always so forgetful. Remember that time in the hotel?
Are you taping again? Come on. I don't know why, but I just love it here. It's so peaceful.
I'm not your Mary.
James, honey, did something happen to you? After we got separated in that long hallway? Are you confusing me with someone else? You were always so forgetful. Remember that time in the hotel? You said you took everything, but you forgot that videotape we made. I wonder if it's still there. I'm not your Mary. Are you taping again? Come on. I don't know why, but I just love it here. It's so peaceful.
As you can see some differences in the trailer's delivery, I tried to piece them together to make them along the same lines. It does appear everything's intact. Maria from this new trailer looks sexy, seductive, and everything that James' psyche would be reflecting. Now, as some of you are aware, I'm not a fan of the voice acting of the remake at all, but to be fair, I think Maria's VA captured it brilliantly. Her voice sounds more confident, seductive, and more flirtatious, which I think captures the essence of James's psyche so much better, since the Maria in the OG sounded too much like Mary, where in my opinion the remake still sounds like Mary, but just more inviting. I really have to point out the VA who played Mary in the trailer really didn't sell it like the OG. The delivery at its so peaceful section just seemed off.
It's so peaceful. It's so peaceful.
They've tried to go for something different, and it's a given since it is a remake, and I did like the filter that they used to capture the essence of it being recorded through a video camera.
Just put the gun to their head.
You can't just kill someone because of the way they looked at you.
You should see your face, James. Just put the gun to their head. Pow.
Eddie, you can't just kill someone because of the way they looked at you.
I was just joking, James.
So now we get a look at Eddie Dombrowski, and it's fair to say that his character model looks decent. I'm an old school fan, so the VA ain't for me, and I'm with a firm belief like MGS they should have just got the original voices, but from what I've noticed, they've actually changed some of the dialogue, which is telling because who knows what other pieces of dialogue they have changed. It's yet to be seen, but we'll find out on the 8th of October. Hopefully they have kept in the parts where Eddie talks about the extensive bullying he's experienced. It's not the first time Konami have done something like this. Just look at Twin Snakes. They changed the dialogue there too, and they did it with Liquid Snake.
I don't
think she's here anymore.
This whole town. Might be best if you just get out of here.
Yeah, you're right.
You said you took everything. But you forgot that videotape we made.
How do you know about that?
There's no doubt that Silent Hill 2's remake's visuals look stunning. Some people explain how some of the characters' clothing was different, and yes it is, but that's not the meat and gravy of what's important. The Resident Evil series of remakes have known to do the same. It wouldn't surprise me that we could unlock the OG outfits anyway, especially for Maria, but who knows?
I'm here for you, James. See? I'm real.
I am here for you, James. See? I'm real.
It's fair to say that Silent Hill 2 is a hard game to try and recapture since the essence of PlayStation 2. Because of the original, it was just so greatly put together. It was like a masterpiece during that time, a one-hit wonder. It was something that really you couldn't put together. It's like a perfect song where someone tries to copy it and it's never the same. But that's not to say the remake doesn't have its qualities. I mean, the Maria dialogue in the OG was really delivered masterfully, and in the remake it wasn't so bad, but wasn't great. But like I said, out of all the VAs in the remakes, Maria's was probably the best one. It's worth noting that I'm not the only one who feels this way too, as on a PlayStation blog someone even stated the VAs seemed campy and cringy at times. Bear in mind this person had a chance to play the game for 3 hours.
Bloober Team's decision making when rebuilding this classic has been clever, but it's not perfect. The dialogue and performances still feel a little too campy and silly for my taste, often taking me out of the super serious tone.
No, you shouldn't be here.
The first thing that struck these playtesters was the over-the-shoulder camera angles. Unlike the distant bird's-eye view of the original, this perspective feels more intimate, drawing players closer into the world. Now with 3D audio, the swishing of leaves and James's footsteps echo hauntingly, making the environments feel eerily real. In the original game, the observation deck in the opening scene was enveloped in fog, creating a mysterious atmosphere. But however, in the remake, the view is initially clear. As James approaches the town, the fog thickens, symbolising his deteriorating state of mind and enveloping the player in a growing sense of dread and anxiety that is slowly built up over time. Making your way into Silent Hill is a lot more detailed, and the ambience of the haunting soundtrack does add to that layer of tension. It's worth mentioning that since it's a remake for the quote-unquote modern audience, it's a lot more hand-holding than the original and less challenging, since items and locations are easy to locate rather than just trying to discover them like the OG. But with that being said, in the remake, the map function is still there to be used to navigate around Silent Hill. According to the playtesters, one of the standout features of the remake is the increased number of explorable buildings that keep you within Silent Hill before you start trudging through the more linear style parts of the game. Unlike the original game, the remake allows James to venture into many more structures throughout the town. Playtesters noticed that for some instances, James even had to smash window panes to gain entry inside these buildings. They discovered valuable items and ammunition and recovery supplies, making exploration both essential and rewarding. They also warned that these buildings are not safe havens. Monsters lurk inside, requiring constant vigilance and engagement. Playtesters were particularly impressed by the evolution of the Pyramid Head encounter at the end of the apartment sequence. James now confronts the humanoid monster in a larger, more intense warehouse-like area, a stark contrast to the original small room. Watching the iconic villain stalk towards James, dragging his massive, sparking blade across the ground, remains an intimidating sight. Pyramid Head's movements and attacks are deliberate and slow, but staying calm is crucial for dodging its attacks with the dodge mechanics, and maintaining a safe distance. Each blow from Pyramid Head is devastating, as the playtesters observed when one swung off its arm sent James flying through the air. This new encounter adds a heightened level of intensity and challenge. Remember the Woodside apartment and the Blue Creek apartment from the beginning of the story? Well, their layouts have been significantly altered from the original version. While the overarching narrative remains intact, the location where James finds items, solves puzzles, and encounters enemies are entirely different. This forces returning players to rethink their strategies and adapt to the new challenges the remake presents. Fans of the 2001 original will recall the frequent loading screens when moving between rooms. In the remake, however, James can seamlessly navigate the building, but with this newfound fluidity comes with its own set of dangers. Worth mentioning too, the realistic elements such as James visibly writing notes when he sees something of interest. It's fair to say that there's a lot more realistic features within the game, such as hearing the footprints and subtle noises that James will make if he is feeling startled. Playtesters also reported a notable downside of the remake, the tedious search for items. While on paper it seems more realistic to acquire these items from locations such as cupboards and drawers, this mechanic can slightly slow down the pace of the game. Some playtesters drew comparisons to the looting and gathering system to The Last of Us, noting that the constant switch between moments of fear and the need to search for supplies can disrupt the atmosphere. One tester mentioned feeling pulled out of the immersive horror experience because of this frequent shift in focus. The tension and urgency built up during encounters with enemies often dissipated when forced to rummage through various containers for essential items. This balancing act between maintaining a realistic environment and preserving the game's intense atmosphere presents a challenge that some players felt was not entirely successful in the remake thus far within this 3-hour playthrough. And some of the scare moments were lackluster at best, unlike the original Resident Evil and remake in particular, where the infected zombies jump out at us through the window. Silent Hill 2 still holds a level of tension but doesn't deliver that heart-racing moments. But bear in mind this was just within a 3-hour window. Puzzles that challenge your wisdom and observation skills are a hallmark of the Silent Hill series, and this aspect of gameplay is present in both of the 2001 original Silent Hill 2 and its remake. Playtesters had the opportunity to engage with new puzzles that required collecting and combining multiple items to find solutions. They also encountered puzzles with clever references to the original game, ensuring that fans of the 2001 version will find joy in both familiar and novel challenges. Moreover, it's reassuring for those who are not avid puzzle solvers to know that there is a difficulty level for puzzles that can be set separately from the combat difficulty. This flexibility allows players to tailor their experience, ensuring that everyone can enjoy their intricate puzzles without compromising the overall gameplay experience. And hopefully that might be a feature too, just like the HD collection for the voice acting. Perhaps we get to select through different voice actors, but given on the mocap for the voice acting, it seems very unlikely. All that being said, thank you much for tuning in. For everything Silent Hill and to hear my fair review when I play through this experience once again, please feel free to join me. Silent Hill 2 is an indistinguishable legacy that will always haunt our dreams. It seems the town is calling us once again for October 8th. Thank you for watching, hit that subscribe button, like the video, and leave a comment with your thoughts. See ya.
See ya, fart face!
Laura!